Hi, this is Rick Carson from Carson Choice Retirement Solutions, co-author of What Do You Mean I'm Responsible? In the past couple videos, we spoke about fundamentals, and today I'm going to show you an actual presentation in front of a group at a company talking about how much money you should put away. I think you'll find it interesting, maybe a little humorous, and we hope it's helpful. The real question here now is, how much do you need to save? What's that number look like? It's a real tricky number. There are a lot of studies on how much a person needs to save in order to have enough money for their desirement years. And I will tell you that the rule of thumb is about 10% of your money that you need to put away in order for you to have enough money for your desirement years. Now, here's what I know. I know a couple of things. I know, number one, you guys are sitting out there, at least 60% of you now are sitting out there thinking, who is this guy? And he doesn't know anything about me, and he doesn't know what my life is about, and he's telling me I need to save 10%. I know. It's like, once I said that, Elvis left the building. He's gone, But try to come back, because the important part to this is that you know what your goal should be. Remember, as an entrepreneur, you have to think about the future and you think in incremental stages. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're not going to gobble it all up at once. Okay? So try to hang in there with me and listen to our mantra that Chuck and I have. It's called 10-1 now. Okay? So this is an example of somebody that's 30 years old, and they're making $40,000. We're assuming they're earning 7%. And we're assuming there's no salary increases. Now, when we meet with you, we have this in an interactive stage, and we can run this for you so that you can see what this looks like. Okay? So here's Susan. And Susan says, you know what, Rick, thank you for letting me know that. I wasn't putting in that much money. I was putting in less money, and I'm glad I know that now, because I'm in a position where I can increase the amount of money that I put into my personal paycheck manufacturing company. And so I'm going to do 10%. And Susan, at age 65, has $595,000. A nice amount of money. George, on the other hand, says, Rick, I can't do 10%. And again, we so understand that. In fact, George said, I can do 5%. But if George said, I can do 4%, or 3%, or 2%, that's fine. The key is to get started. But in this case, George could do 5%. And we said, George, what we would like you to think about is starting at 5%, and then every year, about 11 months after we get started, we will send you an email reminding you to increase your 5% by 1%. 10-1. There's the 1. Okay? And we will send that to you. And George says, it's a great idea. I'm going to do that. And George does that. And at the age 65, he's got $536,000 versus $595. Not such a bad idea. Not such a bad amount. But George couldn't do it like Susan could. But I think we all know that most of us, or in my experience, in our experiences, most of us are like Morgan. And Morgan says, Rick, I can do 5%, or I can do 4%, or I can do some number. I'll get to it next year, not to worry. Well, what happens? We get busy in our lives, we forget about it, we don't want to do it anyway, and Morgan has just under $300,000. So just keep in mind, our goal isn't to get you to put 10% away. Our goal is to make you aware of how much you ultimately need. And I will tell you that we have people that say to us, Rick, I could put 10% away, but why should I? They're only matching up to 6%. Listen, Eric is out here helping you guys with the match. He's investing in your paycheck manufacturing company, but it's your retirement. It's not his, and it's not mine. And our goal is not to push you guys into putting in more money. It's so that at least you walk out of this meeting and you say, oh, I can do 2%, Rick. That's great. Knowing what your goal ultimately needs to be.